where rugby and the world of fantasy sports collide. Welcome to the Fantasy Ruckers Show, bringing fantasy rugby to the masses, talking all things rugby from the MLR to leagues around the world. We're on top of it. Headphones on, pads off. This is the Fantasy Ruckers Show. Now, here are your hosts, Ryan Yee, Matt Yee, and Devin Vanderpool.
What's up, everybody? This is a special live stream draft edition of the Fantasy Ruckers Show. Thank you so much to all of you out there that have tuned in for an exciting episode. Myself, Ryan Yee, with me, Devin Vanderpool. The viewers are probably wondering, Vandy, where the heck is that other guy? The guy that's been talking about hitting the sticky notes, getting in the books, apparently doing film, all of that good stuff. But he's not here right now in either shape or form. He will be soon. Don't you guys worry.
He didn't do any of that. He was a liar.
Exactly. Save those poop emojis because we will be sure to bring Maddie in shortly. But for now, it is myself, Ryan Yee, with me, Devin Vanderpool. Vandy, good to see you back here. Matthew and I had a fun little pre-draft, last-minute draft show yesterday. Released that episode this morning to kind of give some last strategies here for everyone out there that was looking for it. And I think everyone was able to do some last-minute prep. But for you, we told the people that you were hitting the books there, Vandy, and that you were doing some last-minute prep yourself to get ready for this draft that I would say is our most important draft of the year.
Yeah, you know, I try my best. You know, I don't hit the books as hard as I used to back in the day. I was a hell of a student, but no, you know, pretty ready for this. I mean, 3-man draft. Can 3 minds meet in the middle on a pick? We're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out on this one. That is the big change of
Might be some arguments too, live.
Yeah, there'll for sure be some live arguments here as the big change is that we have melded our minds. We described it, Vandy, on our show this week, episode 140 of the Fantasy Ruckers Show. It was the Power Rangers. Maddie proclaimed himself as the head. And I was like the arm coming in. We all molded and we're coming into one.
No, I'm the Red Power Ranger. Ain't no way.
He said that you're the dead weight that hung behind. I will quote him on that episode. So you're gonna have to wait till he hops on this show, Vandy, for you to make sure and tell him wrong there for all of that. But it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. And the big reason why we've had to do that is we got some fun people that are joining the league this year, some brand new members that have been joining, which is a lot of fun. We got the addition of Gift Egbulu of Gift Time Rugby. We also got Great American Rugby as well, joining in for the first time, Lance Kavanaugh's Great American Rugby, which is exciting to see. So we're going to get to all that, special guests throughout. But if you're brand new to this, let's lay the land and lay kind of what people are in for this season, Vandy, before we get started. Again, I think the draft clocks are going to start here in just a moment's time here at the top of the hour. We're going to get through this and get picks going. But nonetheless, let's tell the people what they are in for this season. Just want to give a shout out to everyone that's tuned in right now. Nick Johnson, our analytics guru, is here in the chat. What's up, Nick? Steven, our community moderator as well. Abel, a longtime fan. What's up to you? And of course, we got Rugby Wrap Up popping in, Eagles Overseas, Rugby More. The chirps have already begun, Vandy. They're already going here. So it's all good to see there. Corey, what's up, man? Great to see you as well. And we'll make sure that everything's good to go. But for the people that are brand new, let's tell them what this is all about. This we've had a mission here on the Fantasy Ruckers to make Major League or Fantasy Rugby a reality in the MLR, taking the North American style of fantasy sports and bringing that to the world of rugby. People are used to the European style things, salary cap, building a lineup, your Super Brew style type fantasy things, your Six Nations fantasy type things, your now Super Rugby that you can play in just a little bit of time. You're in for a treat here for a brand new format. Vandy, you were an expert in the world of fantasy football. And other fantasy sports. We brought you in here to bring the fantasy side of things. Has it been refreshing for you as a brand new rugby fan? We've called you an expert on this show now to learn the game of rugby through fantasy MLR and through what you're so familiar with in fantasy sports. Now, look at you. You're using big words on this show and describing players, I would say, pretty accurately here.
Well, I just want to make sure everybody listening knows it's not self-proclaimed expert. That king is or that crown has been deemed upon me. I do not claim it. I do not want it. I am getting better. I still can't pronounce half these guys' names, but you know what? The sport itself, beautiful, beautiful sport we got here, and yeah, just super excited to get this draft going, and just want to shout out all the guys watching. Thank you again, and Steven, I haven't forgotten. I stole you that jersey, buddy. I haven't forgotten. I know.
All right. And I know I think a big proponent, and you're the big example, Vandy, of us trying to grow this Major League Rugby thing here in North America, getting people to dabble into this brand new league, in this brand new sport, a niche sport that many people would call it. And I think you're the walking example of how we can do that for even more people here in North America. So let's get people watching the MLR. Let's get people talking and playing some fantasy MLR, and that would help us grow this league big time here, which is always exciting to see. And the people that we have in our league that we'll be drafting through tonight, also big proponents of that. Rugby Morning, Eagles Overseas, Rugby Wrap Up, all doing their part in terms of helping grow the sport here in North America. Of course, Great American Rugby as well. I will mention Gift, who is a guy that obviously contributes a lot with a whole bunch of different rugby community stuff. Apparently, I've been butchering your last name, Gift, so I need the phonetics here in the comments, and I'll make sure to get that right. We can't have our brand new members not having their name said correctly. Eagles Over says maybe it's a little bit of hazing, but either way, a lot of fun here. So we're about counting down the time here to the start of the draft. We're going to pull up the draft board shortly. Vandy, just early thoughts about this season before we get into it. Obviously, we've had the preseason matches going through. We've been able to talk a few guys. We've been able to okay, there we go. Bailu. Is that right? Bailu? Is that correct?
Bailu. I'm reading the chat here. It sounds like it. Bailu.
There you go. All right. We are big on phonetics on this. I know Matt McCarthy and Rugby Wrap Up. There are people that love to put in the phonetics when it comes to players' names when we absolutely butcher them on the show. So yeah, it extends it extends to our league members as well. But Vandy, back to my question. Thoughts on the season before we get into this, and it's really creeping down, less than 2 weeks away here to the opening night.
Sorry, I got distracted by Fitzy saying John, Matt's daddy, Fitzpatrick. Love that. We need more of that. Sorry, what do I expect for who?
For the season. I mean, obviously you're a big Utah Warriors guy. From a fantasy perspective, is there anything that you're kind of looking out for from a even Utah standpoint that you're looking at, out for? What are you excited most for 2025?
Well, I mean, obviously, like Utah, we had the mass exodus, the culling. So it's super interesting. Honestly, I'm really excited to see Jordan Trainer in action. I really like that pickup we made. Glad to see Joel back. Super. It's kind of nervous optimism. It's like you're prepared to get hurt again, but at the same time, it's like, how can you not sit there and have a smile when it's like, hey, shit, we're trying something new? And that's what sometimes you beat your head against the wall, and it's like, all right, definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting different results. So it's good to see the GM's active, and let's I'm buckled in for a hell of a ride, I guess.
There you go. And what's been fun, even from a fantasy perspective, has been a slew of new names that are joining the league this year, which has been a lot of fun. I mean, and we're not just talking about just any names here. We're talking about guys that are notable players within the world of MLR, which is great to see, or I should say in the world of rugby as a whole. We have guys like, Jed Holloway coming through. Gonzalo Bertrano is someone that we're really high about on the scrum half position. If you've missed the top 5 back show, it's something that we included obviously a lot about in the past. Christian Leolifano, obviously a lot of hype around him, a guy that's a super rugby star, making some appearances here for Rugby LA. So really exciting stuff. Again, these are all names that I'm sure you're going to hear throughout this evening as we draft through these players and get through it all. So why don't we? You ready to start getting drafting here, Vandy? You ready to start getting the people here and ready to start talking about fantasy MLR? It's the start of it now, man.
It's provocative. It gets the people going.
It gets the people going. Last thing here, Rugby Wrap Up starts off with his phonetics by giving us the phonetic spelling of champions. I don't know if he can say that. Vandy, you're going ahead of me, buddy. Here, I gotta.
I heard you're starting the draft and the beard cracked itself.
There you go. Well, hey, cheers to you, Vandy. Cheers to all the guys out there. Crack open that beer and let's get drafting here. It's gonna be a good time. What are you drinking there, Vandy?
Steam Whistle. Great little beer, brewed in Toronto.
Great Canadian beer.
I drank the other 14 of these the other night, but
I think we need a little bit of luck here, probably for tonight, especially reminding melding the minds of a guy that has won the league in the past. You, Vandy, have yet to make playoffs, and last year was my first year. We might need a little bit of luck, so I'm going with
left field.
I'm going with unicorn farts. I got unicorn farts. Sour Me Unicorn Farts is my brand of beer that I am choosing tonight. So we'll get that poured here. We'll get the draft going. And let's start raffling off some picks here. And I think the way that we're going to begin that, though, is by bringing on a brand new face himself, a guy that is taking part of Fantasy MLR for the first time. Let's show the people who we're bringing on here, and let's give him the chance to kind of introduce himself and go through here. We're bringing on Great American Rugby, Lance Kavanaugh, who has our first overall pick. Lance, welcome to the Fantasy Ruckers show for the very first time. It's great to meet you. We were just talking off camera for a little bit. Lance, how are you, and how excited are you to be talking a little bit of Fantasy MLR?
Great American Rugby. Rugby is life, and life is great. This right here is a big opportunity for me. All right, I don't play fantasy sports at all. Like, I gave up fantasy football a decade and a half ago. Right, I was let down too much by Aaron Rodgers. We're not gonna get into that. What I'm saying is, this is an opportunity for me to do a number of things, and I'm really excited to really exercise my MLR brain, so to speak. I'm going to pick with my heart, I'm going to pick with my head, and I'm going to try my best to win this thing. And if I don't, then I'm coming back next year for the whole thing. Either way,
let's go.
You got a real contender y'all looking at. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I love to hear that fire, Lance. Again, Great American Rugby doing awesome things with growing rugby here in North America. We're so pumped to have you here in our Fantasy Ruckers League. Again, this OG league has started 4 years ago, which is crazy to think about, and has had people come through its doors that have been big contributors to the rugby and Major League Rugby space. And for you to join part of that, it's super exciting stuff. Reaching out to you, I know John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning was a guy who was like, hey, you got to get Great American Rugby a part of this. And I was like, all right, we gotta send out the message here and get this rolling. Before we kind of get into that first overall pick, again, you have the pick. You're gonna make it here in just a moment's time. What was your thought process going through this? You said you dabbled in fantasy football, so you kind of know the strategies when it comes to there. Let me tell you, and Vandy will tell you firsthand, this is a completely different beast.
It's a different thing.
It's a different beast when it comes to the volatility of fantasy Major League Rugby. What is your thoughts right now, and kind of what are you trying to do tonight?
I think a piece of like fantasy football is you understand the ties, the ebbs and flows of a season, of the NFL season. Right, you know what happened if a guy is injured, how fast you'll be alerted. You'll have different cues and things to be able to build off of. MLR, a lot of things kind of happen behind the curtain a little bit. So it's going to be really tough to really anticipate, to be able to see things off in the future, be able to make changes quick. I don't know if the waiver wire is really going to be the same as it is usually, right? It's a lot of things that scare me, but at the same time, that's what makes it intriguing. It's a real challenge. I'm going to really have to look at the different aspects of the game that, I might not really take into consideration as I watch or as I enjoy the game, but now it actually matters. How many poaches does this guy get a game? That matters. How much does this fly half turn the ball over? That matters, right? Oh, I got a nice fly half, but he don't kick. All right, so I'm losing opportunity there. Like, this whole thing is like I said, it's a very beautifully scary opportunity. And you listen, you reached out to me. And I don't know if there's many people in here that believe in the old philosophy, ask and ye shall receive. So here we are. I'm gonna make sure that I do my best and hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye, hear ye. That is something that I like to
Oh.
say. You want to get me going, it's saying those words, because that is the words for the Supreme Commissioner. So, I mean, what better way then to have the Supreme Commissioner, hear ye, opening up the 2025 Fantasy MLR Draft. So, hear ye, hear ye.
Sick.
We're playing the trumpets, baby. We're playing the trumpets. Hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye, hear
Here
ye.
is
Hear
Supreme
ye, hear
Commissioner
ye.
Yee with a big announcement. It's time to open the
Makes me
2025 Fantasy MLR Draft. The very first pick overall is Great American Rugby, brand new to Fantasy MLR, brand new to the Fantasy Ruckers, but he's going to be a long time member for life now as we bring you on for the first time. Lance, who are you going with the first overall pick?
All right, so like I said, the strategy part is what kills me, right? I think I came into it when you asked me with the thought process, if I was starting a real team, right?
Mhm.
If I was actually starting a real squad. And I think in fantasy football, I kind of had that approach. I want to pick a player that I know is going to be there every week, that's going to lead from the front. I know his team has to count on him. And I had that same approach. But when I looked at the draft board and the sittings, I don't think this player is in the range of a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pick, but it's somebody that if I started a team today, right now, I would want to be on my sideline. I would want him to be in my locker room. I want him to be there. The number 1 overall pick for this year's OG, my brother, somebody I got a lot of deal of respect for, Dylan the Butcher Fawcett for Chicago Wolfhounds.
Let's go.
I want him on my
The
team.
Butcher.
I will not play unless that man is on my team. Y'all can have all the whoever y'all want. I appreciate that. You know, pick 15, I'll be back or whatever. But I got Dylan Fawcett, the butcher. Let the butcher eat. Let the butcher breathe.
I love
Let's go.
I love it, Lance.
Picks with the heart. That's passion.
That is
Yeah,
passion.
man.
I'm locking in the pick right here. Dylan Fawcett is the number 1 overall pick for the 2025 Fantasy MLR Draft, taken by Great American Rugby, Lance Kavanaugh. That's awesome, man. I mean, you got to go with your gut instinct. I will say it is unconventional, I think, from the standard of what I guess what you would say the meta is for Fantasy MLR so far. But you can't argue with a guy who's got passion for a dude that wants to see him perform. And who knows, maybe Dylan Fawcett goes back to his Rugby New York days and is absolutely electric. I mean, he did lead lead the league in tries this past year, even on Chicago. So again, you'll find out kind of the different archetypes of these different players. But hey, I got to give credit to a guy that is going to stick with his guy and go through there. So that's awesome, man.
If they're going to have him at the back of those malls, he's going to continue to score tries. He's going to play every game, maybe outside of the international window. He's a guy that I can depend on. He's a guy I trust and somebody I really consider as a good person. That's the guy I want on my team.
There you go. You can't argue with that. It's both the tangibles and the intangibles when it comes to Dylan Fawcett for Lance Kavanaugh and Great American Rugby. It's cool to see. It's cool to see. All right. Well, first pick is off the board.
This man knows rugby. You see a pick like that, you're like, this man knows the MLR. My first draft, I didn't know anything. I didn't even know. I knew
if you're
gonna pick like that, I'm like that instills fear.
If you're going to make a pick, Vandy, right, a first overall pick, you got to do it with the conviction that Lance just did it right there, right? Like you even if you
feel like an idiot for not taking him earlier when I dropped yesterday.
Hey, win, lose, or draw, I'm riding. Listen, I know Butcher personally. It was my teammate for a number of years. I cannot have this man on another team killing me. I can't have him on another squad scoring against me. He got to be by my side.
There you go.
Yeah, gentlemen.
Well, Lance, we'll have to show you a picture of the championship winning jersey that we got. I have it stashed away in the closet here. You get your name etched on that jersey for life. We have the names of our other host here, Maddie, who won it in that second year. In the third year, Rugby Morning won it. He has his name etched in the jersey here. So maybe with you and Dylan Fawcett can have your name etched on that jersey here in this 2025 season. So again, that kicks off our draft. Dylan Fawcett is your number 1 overall pick. Lance, before you go, quick predictions of the MLR. Who do you think, or who are you most excited for this MLR season?
Well, it's always hard to pick against the Seattle San Diego's.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been a lot of transformation happening in Boston. They lost a lot of their more explosive players on the back three and the back end. I think they 4-pack gonna carry the day like usual. I expect Chicago to have a good showing. We might be surprised. I don't know if Miami's going to make the playoffs necessarily. They're going to spoil some seasons though. And Utah is always Utah. Even when they have a down year, they're a scary team game by game. So it is really hard to predict. But I would have to say where I sit now, I think Seattle, and I think maybe a San Diego Seattle conference. That
Okay.
winner is going to end up taking the whole thing. But this is pretty early, so.
All right, I guess we'll see. There's Lance's prediction. But hey, Lance, so glad to have you on board this season. So pumped to see what other picks come through here for the rest of your draft and see how your team folds out. The foundation now is built around Dylan Fawcett, and we're excited to see who is built around that. So, Lance, thank you so much. We'll definitely have you on the Fantasy Ruckers show once again. And yeah, good luck and happy drafting here the rest of the way.
Appreciate you, gentlemen. Take care. Happy hunting.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lance. Again, that is Lance Kavanaugh of Great American Rugby. Thank you so much. First pick is in the boards. Yeah, exciting stuff. Dylan Fawcett, Vandy. Dylan Fawcett off the board.
You know what? I'm not kidding. He made me feel stupid for not taking him.
I mean,
what did we get through yesterday? 5 rounds?
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I feel dumb.
Yeah. And I will say this because the second pick is in as I play the NFL draft sound effect here. Rugby Morning has the second overall pick. If you're watching on the stream, obviously you can see the draft board there. Rugby Morning has the second overall pick. He locked in this pick as soon as Lance announced Dylan Fawcett. And I will say, hey, can't argue with the guy that has conviction towards a guy that's his guy. You can tell Dylan Fawcett, the butcher, is Lance's guy. But it kills me to think that this big beast of a man out in LA who dominated the back ends of the Western Conference, all the other back row players that were there, is falling into the hands of our champion of 2024 in the fantasy MLR season. And Rugby Morning, John Fitzpatrick is picking Semi Kunatani with the second pick. So Dylan Fawcett, the shock of maybe the draft, goes in the first overall pick. Rugby Morning gets the pick. Semi Kunatani there in the second pick. So Rugby wrap up is on the clock here for our third pick. And wow, we're just rolling right along here, boys, because the next pick is in. Vandy, quick thoughts. You drafted Semi Kunatani first overall in our listener league draft. Thoughts on Semi Kunatani and what he can do this season? How exciting it is to have a guy like that on your squad.
Fitzy, great pick, buddy. Great pick. I mean, watching this man last year, watch the tape. You know what I mean? Sometimes the pick's just that easy. Watch the tape.
Yeah, it is true. It is very, very true. All right, well, third pick is in. Rugby wrap up with the third overall pick is picking Wayne Vanderbank. Wayne Vanderbank is the third overall pick. If you're buying into the guy that had a whole lot of success last season, a guy that was one of the steals of the draft. People were talking about Ben Lesage. People were talking about LaRue Milan, obviously, before that injury. But Wayne Vanderbank, who finished off with 200.3 fantasy points last season, finishes off as the fifth best overall player in fantasy MLR last year. Obviously, you have the departures of Michael Manson, Tarangatira Waitokia. That is no longer coming. Wayne Vanderbank is right up there amongst the best of them, and he goes third to Rugby wrap-up. So get the draft board updated here. Wayne Vanderbank of the New England Free Jacks is going to Rugby wrap-up. It is time for Gift. Gift Ebulu, I hope I said that correctly, is on the clock here with the fourth overall pick. And
yeah, I love that Wayne pick. He had one start last year where he scored under 10, and it was 7.5. That's it. If he started the game, you were getting minimum 7.5.
Yeah.
Basically average at least 12.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, it's a little bit of a better pick. This is the same Rugby wrap-up team that drafted Dan Hollinshead in the first round last year, which was, I think, the shock of the draft then. This year they go with a little bit more of a meta pick that they'll be able to go through here. So with the third overall pick, the 4th overall pick, Gift Ebulu, is going with your boy, Vandy, Joel Hodgson. Joel Hodgson
over
goes
Poitras.
off
Love to
the
see
board,
it.
becomes the first fly half off the board. Joel Hodgson, screw the hype of all the other guys, right? We talked about Christian Lealifano and how being on an electric LA team, what he's going to bring. We talked about Jason Potros and the stuff that he might bring later. Joel Hodgson is a guy that is consistent as it comes. Vandy, you're a Utah guy. Tell me about Joel Hodgson.
It's just the veteran leadership he brings. That guy makes plays through the air with his legs. He carries the ball. He'll take some knocks. Like he's beautiful, and he hits those kicks. Oh man, I go on all day about Joel.
It's true. It's true. In terms of you're a guy, you had him last year, right? Right, Vandy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about.
No, I didn't. I had Robertson last year.
You had Robertson last year. Did you have him the year? You had him 2 years ago. When you had him on your team, how much fun is it to have a guy that you know that every single week he is going to be slotting in kicks for you on a regular and just be able to get you points consistently here and never really goose egg you and hurt you in a week?
Well, the thing about the 10 is, you nailed it. You want him to kick, and you don't, always have that guarantee. Sometimes, it switches back and forth between two guys. That's kind of not worst case scenario, but it's not fun. Even Robertson last year, there was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks where I don't know who subbed in. What was his name? I can't remember. And it's just a killer because Robertson would play.
Mm-hmm.
He'd play fullback or something, and then
Graydon Bowd, I think you're talking about.
Graydon Bowd would sub in, and then they'd switch Robertson to 15, and then all of a sudden you're getting 4 because you could bank, at least 4 or 5 on kicks.
Yeah. No,
with a guy of that ability.
That is true. And I think it's interesting to see. Now he's a guy that is a staple. We're going back to Joel Hodgson. He's just a guy that's going to be so good. Before we get into this 5th pick, with Stephen Lowen on the clock, who the pick is in, and we will announce shortly here. It's time to bring in one of our buddies here. I think we got to do it here, and that is going to be.
I'm leaving. If he's here, I'm leaving.
You know who it is.
Yeah.
Maddie Yee is here with us.
Been a slice,
Maddie,
guys.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
You made it from
How's
the
it
train.
going?
You got through. I'm sure
I made it
now,
from the city.
Now's
We're
the time
here.
to hit the poop emojis, everyone. Hit the poop emojis.
Well,
fill
hold
the
on.
comments here. Let's
I
fill
would
the
like
poop
to clear.
emojis.
I would like to clear something up here. I heard you tell Vanny that I called him the dead weight. Nick corrected it correctly. I called him the biggest third leg that a Power Ranger has ever seen as part of the team here. So that's a pretty crucial part of the team.
Yeah, you know
Ryan,
what? I'll take that.
I would appreciate if you didn't.
There is
didn't put words in my mouth.
Ryan.
Okay?
There is a big difference.
That's what I heard. It must have been lost in translation. All right.
Anyways, I appreciate you lads holding down the fort.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't know how much you caught of our conversation with Lance, Great American Rugby. What
an
addition.
That, man. I need to see him on more.
There you go. All right. The first poop emoji is in the comments. So that's why we keep on moving on. All right.
Fitzy, suck it.
Gift Ebelu. I think I said it right there. I hope. Joel Hodgson, 4th overall pick. Saber Cato, Stephen Lowen is next. And the pick is in. And he goes with Jason Potros. Jason Potros off the board. So 2 fly halves there in the top 5 picks. We got Dylan Fawcett, Semi Kunatani, Wayne Vanderbank, Joel Hodgson, Jason Potros. So, I think what we talked about, guys, about fly half being the meta is maybe coming to fruition here. Eagles Overseas is on the clock, and we'll wait for his pick. But Maddie, just overall thoughts with how the draft has fallen so far and what you're thinking here. We got a pick coming up, boys. We got a pick coming up in about 2 picks.
Dylan Fawcett first.
He got excited.
Dylan Fawcett first pick. What a plot twist.
It is. It is a very big plot twist. A very big.
I don't even know how to take that. But hey, loyalty. I can always respect loyalty. So I can't go
big
wrong
loyalty
with
guy. I held on to Holden Younger for 7 weeks because of loyalty.
Yeah,
that's true.
That wasn't loyalty. That was just.
I'll live die on that hill, man. Loyalty.
Okay, you got to see. All right. So as we wait for Eagles Overseas pick, Maddie, Thoughts heading into this one? You had time to kind of reminisce on the train on the way home from the city.
Yeah.
I heard that there were some
You watching us on the train?
Oh, I was watching on the train. I heard everything you said.
Boy, Maddie.
Yeah, I heard all the words. I heard everything that was going on. I read
I
all
didn't
the
say a single
comments.
bad thing
I
about
saw
you.
Fitzy call him my daddy, and that's okay.
Yeah, I echoed
Yeah.
that.
That's all good. But we're here. I don't know if I want to give away too much, Ryan. Like I
Okay.
don't want to give I want to wait till Bill Baker's pick is in before we can do anything and before we can give away. But I will say I am interested in
Mhm.
how high the Wayne Vanderbank train has been in the past drafts, even in the listener league that we're in.
Mhm.
I've been interested with that. And definitely I am unfortunately sad to see that Dylan Fawcett's probably going to tank this year, considering he is now the first overall pick of our
Yeah,
fantasy
that is
Ruckers MLR league. That
for
is the trend,
for
unfortunately.
for those of you who are watching or maybe first time watchers or any of our brand new members, Lance, Gift, there is a trend that a Madden curse per se, Nick, who says in the comments that whoever is our number one pick
Oh
just
my
does not
gosh.
do as well as we predict them to do. Last year was what, Ed Fido, was that the first pick last year?
Nope. It was
Or
Mono.
Joe Mono. I think Fido might have
Yeah.
been the year before that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. All right, you're gonna I think be shocked about this pick here. Pick is in. Eagles overseas with their first overall pick in the first round, with the 7th overall pick, sixth overall pick. Jamison Fa'anana Schultz goes with the 1.7 pick. So
Interesting.
Old
Fanana
Glory DC,
Banana. We like that.
we do like that. We've seen what he's been able to do before, obviously off of the conventional of what we've gone for in the past in terms of our draft boards. But hey, he's a guy that has been up there before in terms of the consistency, the tackle numbers.
Well,
Discipline is almost always a question when it comes to him, but
yeah, he
he did
punched Captain Canada.
He did improve that last year, though, when it came to him taking over the captaincy for Old Glory DC.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He is actually a lot better discipline wise. And definitely a guy who has a lot of upside in this league. But yeah, this makes our pick a little easier, boys. I like
Does that
this
so? All
one.
right. Well, let's see. See, people, this is what the scary part is, right? Because on this stream, we haven't done this before. Typically, it's all of you guys, it's us going head to head against each other, right?
Yeah.
But now we get to talk these picks through together and make it as a unit. Again, that Power Ranger-esque type thought here. What is your lock of a pick here, Maddie? What is that you're seeing?
We gotta go Rousseau, right?
Is that the conventional? I mean, I'm down. He's my number one. He's my number one player on my board.
Who?
Devon Rousseau.
Devon Rousseau.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
You like that?
Oh.
All right. Is that what we're going?
I like Devon Rousseau there.
All right.
We needed the hammer. We need the hammer to confirm our
Yeah.
pick, and I think we're good.
All right. Well, let's
You know,
get
what do
the
you-
draft clock noise
what-
going.
last
The
year,
fantasy
started
Ruckers.
17.
The fantasy Ruckers with our 7th overall pick, first pick in the first round, go with Devon Rousseau. And it looks like we did steal Nick's pick, but Nick does have back-to-back picks now to go through here. So Devon Rousseau coming up here. What's the thought process through there?
This one to me, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, the guy at 15 was electric all season long. He has opportunity to play at the center position as well, whether we see that continue this year or not.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to be worried about the threat of Duncan Matthews either, because we saw last year that Devon Rousseau won that starting job.
Yep.
I think that is his starting job to have. I think he's going to continue to kind of crank out consistent minutes for the Seattle Seawolves side. And he's going to continue to be productive on the Seattle Seawolves side, especially when we look at meters gained is a big one that we love to see out of guys and love to see points out of that. He's not try reliant. That's the greatest thing about Devon Rousseau. He's not necessarily try reliant. We can definitely see him though making a lot of meters gained.
Yeah,
I think that's a great point. He's not try reliant. He
Mm-hmm.
can bang on meter eater, right? You can't bank on tries. Very few guys you can bank on guaranteed every other game try.
All right. So Nick Johnson is on the clock, our analytics guru. So we're building the foundation around the Devon Rousseau of Seattle. This This is an interesting pick, Nick, and I hope you did your research, and I hope you know. Do we tell him? Do we tell him before we finalize this? Do we say something here?
No. You got to announce the pick. You can't. Vandy went through this himself too.
Okay. All right. Well, we're announcing it here. The 8th pick overall, Reese McDonald. Reese McDonald goes in the first round for Nick Johnson. I'm not sure if he knows.
The expectation is
that once he gets to the field, Reese McDonald, I'm sure, will be great. But it does sound like he probably won't be on that roster until what, March, Maddie? Is that what we're hearing?
I think the word was March.
So,
but hey, that's all right. He's got the turnaround to get another guy that's going to fill that spot until then. Yeah, I mean, look, it's surprising to see he didn't fall. Yeah, I think we were looking for something similar to what we saw with Billy Meeks 2 years ago, LaRue Milan last year. But hey, it comes in quick. You can't blame the guy for going for Reese Lightning. One thing I do want to touch on, guys. Are you guys surprised that Joel Hodgson went ahead of Jason Potros?
Yes. And I don't know.
Utah fan. I just think it's more the uncertainty there. Like Potros, that team looks relatively the same. I think they're still going to be really good. Utah is a complete question mark, honestly. But I love it. I mean, if there's one guy that's going to make us great, it's Joel Hodgson.
Yeah. No. Another. Wow. Nick is going. I don't know. So for those of you who don't know,
I agree. I agree with you.
For those of you who don't know, we're introducing projections this year. Projections. Some stats. And Nick Johnson, Pingree Panthers, who has this 8th to 9th overall pick turn, has been interjecting some projections. And we had that in our draft kit. A lot of us actually great support for our draft kit. It was cool to see a lot of people actually come out and support the show by purchasing that. He might have some numbers here because the next pick is in. And with the first pick of the second round, Nick Johnson picks Santiago Videla, fly half, supposed to be the starting fly half for the Miami Sharks. So 3 fly halves off the board in the first 9 picks. And that brings us back on top. I'm liking the way our jobs. I think there's guys that are falling to us that are great. I don't know. This is why it scares me. Because in the stream, you're going to get our reaction in live team. And this is going to live on the internet forever. And we're going to be so confident in these picks. And I feel like that might not be the case.
Well, Ryan, who are you confident in?
You guys' top 5s always hit.
Who are you confident here?
Well, okay. So we have our back 3, election back 3 player. We've seen 3 guys go off the board when it comes to fly halves already. My thought is we need to either lock in that fly half.
Nope.
Lock in the center player that you know that I'm talking about.
Yep.
Or go with a back row player that I also know that you do like. I think we're on the same page. We're using our telepathy to talk with each other. And I think we're all on the same page when it comes to this center player that we're both very, very high on. And I think we're going to go with him. Is that right here? I hope we're thinking about the same guy.
Are we thinking the same
and we'll
guy?
find out.
No, okay. So, Maddie, who are you thinking? I'm thinking we got to go either Junior Gaffa or...
You can't say 2 names and then expect me to think that I'm thinking the same guy.
Okay, well,
Vanny,
I wasn't going to go the other center. I was going to say for the back row, if we wanted to go the back row route. I want to lock in a center back row here, I think. For me, it's either center back row or fly half.
We're going Gaffa.
Junior Gaffa?
Yeah, I think we should go Gaffa. I think we should go Junior Gaffa. All right. Well, pick is in. Junior Gaffa is a member of the Fantasy Ruckers squad. So, yeah, Nick. Imagine if we said and we're all talking about different guys. No, we're speaking to each other. We're on the same wavelength here. And
no chat outside of this either. We are speaking.
Yeah, you know what? Just looking up Gaffa's numbers again. Yeah, okay, I'm all right with that.
Junior. I think this Anthem team is going to be obviously a lot better than what they were last
same
year.
as my listener league draft, by the way.
This is bad. This is bad.
This is really bad.
This is why
it's not about hedging. It's about going all in.
But what about our team?
I mean, we're going all in for our team too. So Videla, interesting pick. I mean, look, I could see him definitely going off. I think, in my opinion, probably could have got him later on.
Hmm. Well, that's the game, though. Like, I mean, the game is when do you make that decision between uh uh picking your guy and being confident in that pick. If you think he's worth second round value, he's worth second round value. It's playing that game, and then he gets sniped. You know, Vandy passed on Andrew Coe last year, and he's never lived to let it
Never
down.
survived.
But either way,
Yeah.
the third pick of the second round is in.
I thought you were gonna say Billy Meeks, Ryan. Honestly, I did.
No, I we'll talk about him later. But Cliven Laubser is going to Eagles overseas. Interesting
So,
pick here as well. So
Bill,
another
I mean, Ryan, sorry, I gotta ask Bill about this because I saw reports saying that he was actually not going to be the starting 10 for them. That the expectation was that Laine Latu was going to be the starting 10 because Scott Lawrence was pointing towards a 10, an American 10 starting for the anthem, something like that. Maybe I'm reading headlines and not reading articles.
that was the
Bill,
conversation in our Discord
yeah,
chat.
yeah. Bill, do you have any validity as a guy who's very plugged into the league?
I mean, his name is
Do you know
Eagles.
something that
His
we
name
don't?
is Eagles overseas. Like
Yeah, but they are not overseas. Does he
no,
only knows the Eagles overseas?
no.
Is
See,
he
let's not
plugged
let's
in
not let's not
on
limit
the
let's
Eagles
not limit Bill like
within
that.
seas?
No, he's
I'm
it's
just
all.
asking. I
I think
gotta make sure.
it's implied that it's all the Eagles plus the ones overseas.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
that
just want to make sure.
I think that's what we're
But
going with. Either way,
to Nick's point, Lobster, I mean, what do we say? He's the most points per game guy.
yeah.
And yeah, Bill Berger's point, played many minutes last week in the warm up on that desert field. But yeah, most points per game guy, absolute weapon. I think, and I hope he's going to shine for this anthem side.
I think he'll be electric. If he has the starting minutes, again, there's that question mark now with Laine Latu, like you said, Maddie. But if it's all good, then yeah, Cliven Laubser. I had him on my squad last year. I picked him up from waivers, and it was fantastic.
did.
Well, Stephen Lowen, our community moderator, is on the clock waiting on his pick. I will take this time, though, Maddie, to let you know that the only comment that John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning has been making in our comments here has been, Maddie, can you now make your pick in the listener league, please?
I'm kind of busy, Fitzy. If you haven't noticed, but I'm kind of busy. Right?
So yeah, you're welcome, Fitzy. I had to get the shout it in. We've been pretty good at making our picks. Listener league has been fun. The champions of our other leagues are have the chance to take on us three on our separate teams. That's where we've shifted our separate teams, either than being on this one singular team we are in this year. But the pick is in for Stephen Lowen, and Stephen is going Gonzalo Bertrano, scrum half for LA. So a second round scrum half. I do think he's going to be miles above any other scrum half in this league, especially with some of the uncertainties with the depth in certain areas. But either way, I think that's going to be fun. Vandy, you must be happy. You picked Gonzalo Bertrano on the turn in your listener league pick. You see him going this early. You must be pretty stoked to see that Gonzalo. There is that hype around Gonzalo.
Yeah, I was honestly just selfishly thinking that too. I wasn't even going to bring it up, but yeah, it definitely felt good.
You selfish.
All right. Well, gift a Bailu. I think I said it right again. I'm going to keep on practicing. Gift a Bailu.
Keep on practicing.
He's on the clock here. But overall thoughts here, guys, about how this draft has fallen out. Do you like the foundation that we are building here with Devon Rousseau and Junior Gaffa? I love it. I think it's great. I'm a
big fan. I like what we've done. Obviously, ours is the most predictable from what we've done in mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this isn't turning out. I mean, actually, I would say one thing that we got right is that a slew of 10s going in that first round. I think we did predict that.
Yeah, we did.
And that didn't happen last year. Last year, that didn't happen
last year.
So maybe.
But I am thinking, boys, as we're thinking, maybe we just,
what?
Maybe we just not take a 10 for a while. Wait it out.
And then people are going to start taking 2. And then that kind of thinking, I don't like that kind of thinking.
Yeah, but see, now the people watching, they have no clue.
All right,
the validity of my statement.
Picks. You don't think any of these guys are going to take 2 fly halves?
The pick is in. The pick is in for the 5th pick of the second round. Gift a Bailu picks Dan Creel of the Seattle Seahawks.
Nice.
Oh, I
Or
like that
Seahawks.
pick.
Seattle
Oh,
Seawolves,
Joel
I should
Hodgson.
say. Dan Creel goes
You
to
know,
Gift.
Joel Hodgson, Dan Creel. That's a nice little combo.
That is a nice combo.
That is.
I picked Dan Creel in my listener league draft. For me, he's just a great foundational piece.
Yeah, had him last year, man. Just consistent.
Yeah. So on the clock now is rugby wrap up.
Yeah, I heard Dan Hollinshead is available just for rugby wrap up today.
Well, were you surprised, Maddie, that that they went with actually a pretty notable pick with their third overall pick there?
Well, I'm sure they realized that they just didn't want to be embarrassed again, and it's good to see that they're kind of buckling up their bootstraps this year and really figuring it out and doing what I like to call getting a grip. So it's good. Good to see.
Getting a grip, he says. Wow. All right. Well, the pick is in here for rugby wrap up.
They're going to prove me wrong.
And the wave of what we said are 10s coming off the board follows through here. Jason Robertson of Old Glory DC goes off the board here. Jason Robertson, pretty consistent here, 168.7 fantasy points last year, finishes off as one of the better fly halves in the league as fly half number 4. So not surprised to see Jason Robertson come off the board here this early.
Yeah, I'm just genuinely worried about Old Glory. And maybe Fitzy can add some more to this, but I'm just worried of the fact that they stayed the same. They got a couple additions. They stayed the same, and a lot of these other teams that might have finished below them or around them last year have gotten a lot better.
It's true.
I'm a bit worried with some of that.
And that's something
However, they're still going to give New England Free Jacks a run.
That is something that we said on the podcast in terms of Gonzalo Bertranu, or not Gonzalo Bertranu, sorry, I'm looking at that here. Is something we said about Old Glory DC on the podcast before, that just everyone seems to be moving up. And it seems like Old Glory DC hasn't done much here. I know that our in-house website guru, a guy that we need to give a shout out to, Alistair Kirschpool, our website guy. He's a big Old Glory DC fan, does the Glorious Rugby podcast with Fitzy to talk all things Old Glory. And I think the sentiment with them, or at least with Alistair, he's pretty excited for the season. So we shall see. But Rugby Morning coming in with his pick, John Fitzpatrick, picking a guy that he also picked in his listener league draft, Davey Kutzer of the Houston Sabercats, a guy that does have fly half.
Do something new for once, Fitzy.
Yeah, I know. Well, you coming from the guy who literally just said that
you guys drafted the same. Not me. I didn't draft those two guys. That was weird how you guys drafted the same team as my listener.
I don't know about that.
Wow, that we came to that.
So there we go. Davey Kutzer at the back three. I mean, he's playing fullback this year, right? Like that's do we gonna see him?
Yeah, I think so. I have a hard time seeing him. I mean, I think he's gonna switch between the two. I'm sure he'll switch between the two. And I'm sure it'll be similar to last year, except I think now they know what they got with him at fullback.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Drew Wild started at fullback in their preseason game, and Drew Wild, I believe he scored a try. I'm going to assume he looked good. I didn't watch any of it because they obviously aren't going to let us watch it for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't know. I thought Drew Wild is definitely a guy that you need to think about at 15.
Yeah. It has been very quiet with AJ Alatimu, right? Like I haven't really seen or heard much with AJ.
Quiet as far as
he's
what?
there. If he's announced in the lineup, he's there.
Yeah. So
we'll
see. So Lance, Great American Rugby is on the clock here. We do have the first pick of his that is in, and he is taking your boy Vandy, Frank Lahore, the top scoring second row player, is going off the board here. So we'll see what he does there with his first pick of the third round, but he's locking up now. He's got the big boys. He now pairs it up, Dylan Fawcett and Frank Lahore on his team here.
Houston is a badly constructed roster, Corey says.
You can finish that thought? Yeah, I mean,
no, I was just trying to think about it.
Yeah, I think Houston plays and knows they're playing a certain way. I think they're established in terms of that, and from a fantasy sense, doesn't really appease to that. It's a boring style of rugby, to say the least. And I think the kryptonite for them with that was that Dallas Jackals team last year, right? They couldn't play their style, right? Dallas took it to them and was able to score points, and Houston was just not able to keep up with that, with their style of rugby that they played all season long. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Houston will go in that same dominant run that they did last year. But really, it's up in the air, and everyone is going through here in terms of being competitive this year, especially with everyone making playoffs. So who knows? But the final pick for Lance on this third round turn, one that I think I'm a little disappointed to see, but happy to see him go up high. Andrew Coe
Let's
is
go.
off the board. So he's a guy. He's a guy that I'm very high on. Yeah, friend of the show, Andrew Coe. We've had him on the show before. Maddie, you and I played high school rugby with him. And he should be one of the staples. I said on the last show that I'm very confident in Andrew Coe that he's going to be one of the staple players in that electric LA, or what's supposed to be an electric LA lineup, and we'll have to see. So rugby morning on the clock here. So you got Dylan Fawcett, Frank Lahore, Andrew Coe for Great American Rugby. Lance Kavanaugh's first shot at fantasy MLR. Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
All right. Well, pick is in for rugby morning. We'll keep this rolling, keep it moving. Dylan Nell off the board here for rugby morning. Dylan, rugby morning, Fitzy now has Semi Kunatani and Dylan Nell back row, back or forward flex, and then pairs that up with Davey Kutzer. So an interesting strategy there. Interesting strategy there. What's your thoughts on that strategy, guys?
I like it. I mean, look, you need a forward flex. You're going to need a guy on bye. The fact that you have Kunatani and Dylan Nell covering two of your forward positions on a given week without a bye, hey, that you ought to be feeling pretty good going into a week, and feeling pretty confident going into every week that you're going to get a lot of production out of those two positions.
100%.
All right,
Dylan Nell until he was suspended was absolutely on fire.
I mean, the one thing that I love about Nell is that he's going to make the defense. He's going to be great defensively, great offensively, and he's an absolute weapon when it comes to the breakdown.
Yeah. No, well, you look at it, he scored unbelievably well, 125 points.
Yeah.
And he didn't play that many games, and he only got 2 tries.
Yeah, doesn't need tries for sure.
Yeah.
Tackles, meter,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
should be good. Well, hey, pick is in
all the time
for the third pick of the third round and rugby wrap up picks. Ed Fido goes to rugby wrap up. Maddie, you're a guy that's high on Fido this season, especially with this revamped NOLA squad.
Yep.
What do you think about this pick?
I like it. I think you can't go wrong with this. Yes, he might have some injury history. Yes, he hasn't played there a lot in terms of full seasons, but I think he's got a unique opportunity to be very close to the Ed Fido of Rugby New York. If they highlight him in the offense, which they were in the end of the last year, I think they're going to do very well, and he's going to benefit and reap the rewards from that.
Yeah, should be interesting. So we do have now Gift Abelu on the clock now.
I think we got to talk about I think we got to talk about Corey's note here about second rows, because I think this is kind of a perfect thing that we've talked about.
Frank Lahore
got picked.
Yeah, that is true.
But he's the only one.
He is the only one.
So I mean,
I'm surprised he was the first one, but yeah.
I've seen that a consistent amount here throughout the time of a lot of these drafts happening. But yeah, should be interesting. Well, fourth pick is in for Gift, and he picks a guy that I mentioned on our top 5 back show, and that is Nate Augsburger of the Chicago Hounds. I mean, it wasn't too long ago where Nate Augsburger, you had him, Maddie.
That was when he was a 9.
But
he got the boost from being a 9 winger.
Yeah.
Now he's just a winger, and there's no boost from that. No, I think, look, he was a victim of what we call the Billy Meeks experiment at 10 last year. Unfortunately, the first half of the year, the ball didn't get outside of 12 for 90% of the game. And if Nate Oxberger ever did get it, he basically had nothing that he could do with it. So yeah, I think you're hoping to see Nate Oxberger get a lot more opportunity with ball in hand. And yeah, I'm thinking that him and yes, Nick Dominguez as well are going to reap the rewards from a much better playmaker at 10.
So we should see. We should see here, Matt. Back to, I guess, the Ed Fido pick. Do you think Fido is the best back three option out of all of the NOLA players?
Well, I think so, but that's a lot based on because we have a history with him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got a
like-
hell of a ceiling, though.
He does.
we've seen
he
what
does,
he's been
and-
able to do.
I mean, just look at you look at closer to the end of the year last year. And again, he didn't play many games, but week 4, round 6, 19 points in week 4, 26 in round 6, 22 in round 13. He has the potential to go off. He just needs to play.
Yeah.
That's it. And sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
No, I'm just going to say we got another pick coming in just to keep this thing moving in the 5th round or 3rd round, 5th
Whoa.
overall pick. Bogan Isaacs goes to Stephen Lowen, which is an interesting pick because I think I'm right in saying, right, Matt, that we have not seen Bogan Isaacs yet in LA.
I haven't seen him. And I've been looking for him in every promo video that the LA team has been posting.
That's the
and I
research.
haven't seen him. So that's a concern. But who knows? We won't know until the start of the season. He could be the starting 15 for them. But
This is
yeah,
why
while we're
it-
waiting for this next pick, I do want to just touch on some of the comments, Ryan.
Yeah.
Dyer, people saying Dyer hoping they have a better season. I love Dyer on the wing. I think he kind of was in a bad situation with Houston in terms of play style. I think he's going to be in a much better situation with LA. I think he's going to be back to that Dyer that we've seen in the past.
We got some people watching.
There we
Corey
go.
said, yeah, he did play against Drua. I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't stay up until midnight. And yeah, so we'll have to see with that. But Van Voot looked a lot better.
Well, let's give a shout out to Louis, Vandy's boy. We're gonna get Louis. We're gonna get Louis in some rugby. Vandy, join the.
Yeah, we gotta get him a Utah jersey.
No, but like a local Tilsonburg team. Why don't we get him?
But we don't have rugby around here.
I think we could find it.
We're a small town.
Bill Baker is up here, and he has his pick. He picks Jade Stigling. There for the Seattle Seawolves. Good pick there. He's a guy that was pretty solid last year. Had a whole bunch of points. Was the one of the highest scoring players last season. So cool to see Jade Stigling come off the board there.
Boys, we're up.
Yeah, we are up. Just to give you time, Maddie, to think about it. Third best back three player, 7th overall with 173.5 fantasy points. So Jade Stigling off the board. What are we thinking here, boys?
Are we thinking of 10 here yet or no?
No, screw him. We got a back row. We got a back row.
I think you know what I'm thinking about, and I think we need to take him.
This feels like an attack.
What are we thinking about Jonah Moe? Right.
So here's my question. Do we think Sweel is going to get taken in the next 2 picks?
Well, see, this is the problem with the live stream, right? Is that
it's fine. We don't need to. Because
Tim Sweel is 100% getting taken in the next bit. Maybe.
Yeah, Nick's taking him in addition to Santiago Videla.
Maybe. I don't know. Do you want to play the game?
So you think that Nick is
fine.
going to
Patty's right. We'll play this game.
Have a 15 that is not starting till March, a 10 on Miami, and then pick another 10 within these next 4 picks. You think so?
Right. We pick someone else.
All right. No.
And even if he does this, because he's heard us try to get inside of his head, which by the way, we already are.
No, he's in my head. He's sending emojis.
No.
He's got
we're already
brain emojis going.
If he does this, if he does this, then he screwed this up for himself anyways, and it doesn't matter what.
I think I'm with you, Maddie. I think we want to go Jonah Moe here. Is that correct, Vandy? What do you think?
Vandy,
you want Jonah Moe here, eh?
Back row
I like
player.
a good Jonah Moe.
I like having two solid back row center players on top of Devon Rousseau. I never would have thought we would have had that, but
If we
that is
lock down the center, the back three, and the back row position, we can walk away from this happy.
Oh, you guys.
Who else do you think, Vandy?
Let's go.
Well,
Lock in those
okay.
lyrics. Come in. Let's go.
No. What
Let's
else do you
go.
think? Do you think anything else, Vandy?
I feel like you just want to lock down that 10 position.
A part of me thought maybe Sam Galla. I'll be honest.
Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed. I'm not going to say it. I think we got to go back row first. That's my thought, Vandy.
Okay, let's go Jonah Mo.
All right. Jonah
Lock
Mo.
him in.
Jonah
over
Mo
Sam Galla.
for the Fantasy Ruckers team. Lock him in. We'll
think
play
that
this
second row
game.
is
Nick,
nice so
who you saying don't do it to?
Us. You're in his head. That's why.
There you go. Well, Nick is up. We'll see who he picks here. Matt, you see, I don't think you can see the video, but I'm drinking Sour Me Unicorn Farts. You know I love my
I heard when you were announcing it. I was aware. Yeah, interesting choice.
Or do we
Good
skip
for
the
you.
10 and then go Sam Galla?
Well, see, that's and it may. Well, let's have a conversation after Nick picks here. He did want Mo. Okay, so that's good. So we're happy with that. He wanted Mo. Who outside of our team, because obviously that's bias, guys. Who three foundational players are you liking right now?
Outside of our team?
Mhm.
Like that have been drafted already?
That has been drafted already.
I really like Kunitani, obviously.
Well, like the combination of three guys.
Oh,
I like Fitz. I do like Fitzy's
Hodgson,
combination
Van
there.
Trier, Nate Oxberger.
That's a good one. That's a good one too. But the pick is in here, back to back here. Corey likes rugby morning. Don't say that, Corey. You're gonna make it go to his head. He's already cocky enough. But the pick is in. Tian Lutz is going to Nick. It's a pretty solid pick. And then Manuel Ardeo.
Boys.
So
Boys.
what?
Screw the 10. We don't need it. Vandy,
doing
I'm
it,
on
aren't
board. We don't need the 10.
All right, what are we doing?
Oh,
We're screw the 10.
Okay.
Sam Galla?
We gotta go him. We gotta go
Yeah?
him. He's right there for us. Our turn is way too long. He's gonna get taken. We gotta go him.
All right. I mean
I can live with that. I can live with Galla there. Honestly, I can.
all right.
Just think of the prospect, boys. Just think of the prospect. You got Devon
When we
Rousseau,
are
Junior
fighting
Gaffa,
every
Jonah
week to get
Mo,
a
and
10,
Sam
I'm
Galla.
redoing this video and I'm gonna send it to you every night that we gotta find a 10. But I'm down. Let's go Galla.
All right. Sam Galla
Screw it.
off the board. I'll get on board with that. I guess we predict finally the right trend on which this is going to go, right? We say fly halves are going to go early, and we say screw it. We say no. You know what? Screw what we thought was going to happen, which would be the meta. Let's go the complete opposite. We're
Why would we know? We talked about this. Why do we don't need to? We got our ranked number one back three. We got our ranked number one center. Okay?
Yep.
We got
Yeah, but what do our rankings mean?
everything.
Nothing.
Everything, Vandy. Everything.
It's true.
All right.
But I'm down. I'm down. Sam Galla, he's going to be fun to have.
I gotta pee one sec.
So yeah, it should be interesting. Bill Baker, Eagles overseas is on the clock now. We'll keep these picks rolling. I am liking our team, Maddie. I am liking our team quite a bit. Pick is in. Corey Daniel is going to Eagles overseas. I do like that pick. I feel like he's a guy that I mentioned, Maddie, on.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't mention him enough.
I don't think we did mention him enough, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's what you said?
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned him enough.
Yeah. I mean, just a
tackle machine,
which is going to suit very well for fantasy there. Stealing Gift's pick. Clearly, he's not too happy about that, but he now has a foundation between Corey Daniel and Jama Fanana Banana there. So he's banking it on that DC boys.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's really interesting here. Like you look at Corey Daniel, and I'm assuming he's playing back row.
Mhm.
But we still got Tui Fu on the board.
Mhm. But you weren't
I
high
wasn't high
though.
on him, but we still got Galatier. We still got Vian Conradi.
So
I'm just curious on whether he is the next guy in this mix. Like, is he the next guy that should have been drafted here? I don't blame him. I love the pick. I just think that when you look at ceiling of guys, there's guys with a lot higher ceiling, but Corey Daniels got that high floor for using the tackles.
yeah, no, it's I guess we'll see. The pick is in for Stephen Lowen. I don't know what the draft strategy is here.
Doesn't have one. Doesn't
but
have one. Yeah, I believe he's trying to take all the nines.
he's going for it, and like you mentioned, Matt, taking all the nines. John Poland is off the board. So now Stephen Lowen is looking for a trade partner because it looks like he's trying to take all of the nines. He has the 2 top break nines that we have in our books here on his squad now. So John Poland off the board here to Stephen. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
the way to go.
I don't know how I feel about that one. I mean, hey, you do what you got to do. I think he's made it a lot harder for everybody else at the 9 position. That's for sure. If that was
Yeah.
his plan, but yeah, I'm slightly concerned with his team. I don't think Potros can carry that team. That is a team that requires a lot more heavy lifting and a guy who can tackle. So, you know,
Is that it?
I don't know what to make of that team. And Steven, hey, good luck, man. Godspeed. I wish you the best with that starting first 4 rounds.
I guess we
If Tim Swiel comes all the way back around to us, we are what, masterminds of this?
We might be.
Speaking of which, if he doesn't come back all the way around to us, we got you. We made you pick him.
Yeah.
So also masterminds at this.
That's how you do it. All right. Coming in here, Gift coming in with a big pick. Rob Harley is going to Gift Ebelu. Rob Harley.
Are we just sleeping on
BC.
Jed Holloway or what?
I don't know.
What's happening here? I've seen him fall in every draft I've been in.
I picked him. I picked him in my listener league.
No, I know you did.
Jed Holloway or Jason Dom? That was the question that I was dealing with earlier.
I'd go Jed Holloway.
Yeah. So, all right, Rob Harley off the board. It is. I mean, see, this is the thing, though, right? Like we've laughed at picks before, you know, and they end
100%.
up being insane.
Not Holland's head though. That one we laughed at correctly.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's not my guy. That's for sure. I can't help but think that Sam Caird on the New England Free Jacks is going to be a defensive tackle machine. I just can't help. I can't help. They're an extremely stout defensive team, and I think he's going to be a big part of it. And when you're looking at the second row position, you're looking for a high floor, and I just can't help but think that he's going to have an impact on a team. I didn't have Rob Harley in any of my kind of boards or lists, but I like the pick.
And we do have our pick from Rugby Wrap-Up coming in. It looks like the string of scrum halves are going because Connor Tupai is now off of the board.
Come on. Come on now.
Yeah, that's what
are we doing here?
Connor Tupai off the board.
You
know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
If Swiel does not get taken in the next 4 picks, we got him lost.
I have a feeling that
he's getting picked right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
I have a feeling both these guys don't have fly halves.
Yeah, but maybe they're thinking the same thing. Yeah, one of them's going to go like
it could be
Lee Lafana or something.
Could be true. Fitzpatrick is here. Yeah, I mean, when
nasty little draft going so
when
far.
I guess that's the interesting question. When does Billy Meeks go?
Never.
I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole. I'm going to announce that right now. I am not. I will not be a part of that train.
Oh, hold hold on. If he falls to a certain place,
No,
we're gonna have to take him.
no,
There is a point where we are going to have to say
no.
we're taking him.
I
And
don't
then
like
he
it.
fills a roster spot on our bench all year, and then we can't drop him.
I mean, he
I
was
hate to-
startable.
I hate to break it to you, but we're gonna have to take him at
We'll
some
see.
point.
Fitzy's paying you back, Maddie. He's not making his pick here on our live stream because you haven't made your pick in the listener league.
Do you know what? To his thing, I have to say I have been trying to look and try to make my pick, but I've been trying to double task. And I can't figure it out.
All right.
And it's
Well,
a tough one.
It's a tough one, eh?
I will say this guy's team is looking a lot like the listener league, but he picks Thomas Kubia of the Miami
Nice.
Sharks, formerly on the Dallas Jackals. Thomas Kubia is now off the board, and it is now Great American Rugby's pick with back-to-back picks. But I do like the Kubia pick. He's a guy that I have been floating around in terms of, using him. His points per game were electric when he started joining the team. Should we tell? I think Rugby Morning is going to say something here, but I don't think we should allow. Yeah, there we go. We'll he was going to pick Jordan Jackson Hope, but we're nicer than that. And we're going to say
Well,
that.
hold on.
What?
Why not? Why can't he pick him?
First time Great American Rugby. We're not going to do that to a guy.
No,
We're not going to do that
Alright.
to a guy. We're not going to do that to a guy.
we're better guys than that.
All right. All right. Fine. I think we did do that. I think we did do that for maybe Vandy. I feel
We
like we did that for Vandy.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was Rue Milan.
I don't
Yes.
think you stuck with him though.
Yeah, I stuck with him, but remember he was only supposed to be out like 4 weeks, and he'd been out. I think it was like 10 weeks.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're rolling through this. We are in the tail end of the fourth round. I'm liking our team.
I like our team.
Great American Rugby picks Jason Dom,
That's a deep
second row,
throw,
back
man.
row player. That's a solid pick. He was a guy like I was thinking about picking him over Jed Holloway. I guess now we can have the conversation. Like, you still like Jed over Jason Dom, Matt?
Yeah. I just think, yeah. I mean, looking at some film on Jed Holloway, just the time that he's played, I think he's going to serve a really good role on that San Diego team, and I think he's going to be he's going to do well.
And maybe this is a I guess this might be like a loaded question in a way, but how much does that perception change? I know he's a second row player, but if Jed Holloway was, let's say, a back row player, do you think he gets picked higher?
Maybe. I mean, just with the time that he had at back row and the production that he had at back row. But a lot of that production, if I'm remembering correctly, was when Kunatani was either out or starting on the bench. So, yeah, I wonder just how much.
No, but
I want-
even not even just Jason Dom, Jed Holloway is what I'm saying.
Oh, Jed Holloway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jed
You know
Holloway.
what I'm saying? Like, because he has that second row label, right? People are just not as high on him. But if he was in
Maybe,
the back
but
row-
yeah, he's a versatile second rower, so he's gonna be very similar, I think, to Frank Lahore.
All right. Well, we got to pick in the second back-to-back pick here for Lance of Great American Rugby. Billy Meeks is off the board, so we don't have to go
There we go.
through
We
that.
don't have to go through that.
Mind game of
Dude.
how far Billy Meeks will go. That's a pretty solid team. I like that team. Fawcett, Lahore, Code, Dom, and Meeks. Pretty solid. Rugby Morning, John Fitzpatrick, our 2024 Fantasy MLR champion, is on the board. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time or are brand new to this Fantasy MLR thing, just to tell you what is at stake here for this main OG league, you do get your name etched. Should I go get the championship jersey? Should I
Might
go?
as well.
Yeah, you
Well,
should.
Okay.
Might as
Yeah,
well.
might as well.
All right. Well, Maddie, you're going to have to do the announcements for me. Why don't you announce this next one?
Oh, Rugby Morning said in explicitive, it's Vian Conradi.
Whew. Did he go to get the jersey?
All right, so lads, we're getting Tim Sweal or what? We're getting Tim
we are.
Sweal. Boys, that's crazy. That's crazy. Imagine us with the lineup that we have getting Tim Swiel.
5?
I don't know.
When did
We'll
I
see.
took him in the listener league. When did I take him?
You took him in like round
Second.
2, second round.
VN?
Vian went. No, we were talking about Tim Swiel. We were just talking about the
Tim
fact that
Swiel.
I think all the other teams have a 10, but we don't know anymore because apparently we're taking 2 9s on our team.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the pick at all.
Yeah, so we'll see. So rugby wrap up is on the board now. VN Conradi,
I mean,
solid pick.
I'm honestly surprised he went at this position, but also not. I think it's clear that we're not like nobody's sleeping on him because Vian Conradi is a beast, man. Like before he got hurt, he was an absolute mutant. And
But, like,
regardless of how crowded the
so
back row room,
nasty.
he's going to shine.
I mean, talk about crowded back row room, though. Look at Rugby Morning's back row room now. Like Semi Kunatani, Dylan Nell, Vian Conradi. You can't start all 3.
No, you can only start 2 of them. But hey, good for him. He'll have a guy that's producing on the
Trade
bed.
me.
So Fitzy did mention this of Rugby Morning. He couldn't remember if his name was etched on the jersey. I mean, come on. Are you just, that's the most important thing. Of course, your name is etched on the jersey. So to talk about what is at stake here for the Fantasy Ruckers OG League, you get your name etched in history onto the Fantasy Ruckers jersey. You can see the names are etched there. There you go, Fitzy. There is your name there. John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning is etched on there. We hope to see our name etched on it. Maddie, do you know what's funny? Is that your team is going to be the only one where your name is on it. Because if we win, it's just going to be Fantasy Ruckers. I guess it's good to see that. But you get your name etched on that jersey. You get $100 donation made in your name on behalf of the Fantasy Ruckers to a charity of your choice. We'd love to give back to the rugby community. And obviously, you get the bragging rights that is winning a fantasy MLR league. Another pick is in. Yero Gomez Vara is off the board here for Rugby Wrap-Up's 5th round pick. Very interesting. On New England now. 124.3 fantasy points, finished off as the back row 7 last year. Yero Gomez Vara goes to Rugby Wrap-Up. Now we got Gift on the clock now. Interesting. What do you think Gomez Vara is going to do in New England, Maddie?
Well, I think they had him listed as a 2nd row. I think they had him.
Let me check. We'll double check.
Yeah, double check.
We played 2nd row 3 times last year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Free Jacks had him listed as a 2nd row in their lineup release. That would be a really sneaky little play to get him this late, because I think at the 2nd row position he holds a lot more value than at that back row position for the New England Free Jacks.
He was listed.
I just don't see
listed as a back row player.
Okay, got it. I don't know. I think Vian Conradi, like, you see him as, all right, he's going to shine regardless. Now
There's
you
no
look at
set
some
of
the other
Baker.
positions. There's no set, but man, did Jed Melvin and Ethan Fryer really shine last year?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know how you sit Jed Melvin.
Yeah.
I don't know how you sit him with his performance. Ethan Fryer, frankly, you need domestic guys. And like Ethan Fryer played good enough to be a guy, but he could come off the bench. I mean, I could definitely see Gomez Vara starting. It's just being Conradi, I'm confident in. The rest of the back row room, then you start worrying about how crowded it is.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Gift Ebelu has a pick here for his 5th round, 4th overall pick, and that is Paul Lasike, Vandy, your boy.
Oh, Vandy, you
Going
like that one.
to Gift. Pretty good pick there. And then we'll back it up again. Another pick off the board, quickly ramping them off. Kellen Galatier is going to slow and steady.
Boys.
It's happening.
Is this?
Let's lock it down.
You want to lock it down?
Let's lock it down.
I think we're on the same page, right? We need to get a fly half.
Lock it down.
Yeah, obviously.
Because Eagles overseas is not happening. Okay. And we have Ruben DeHaas coming off the board for Eagles overseas.
See, he was on the bench, I know, for NOLA.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious on whether that's just because they didn't want to play him, but I can't see why he would leave the Cheetahs to not start for Nola.
It's true.
And yeah, I think his only competition there is really Luke Campbell. Damian Stevens, I've talked about in the past. I'm not going to talk about it again. But he is not good.
So it is our pick. I mean, we're going it, right? Like, that's the pick?
Yeah, you gotta just pick
Lock it in. All right.
Yeah,
Tim Sweal going to the Fantasy Ruckers team. Very happy with that. Did not think he would fall back around to us. But I am down.
That is a team, Vandy.
What?
We got it. You don't have to worry about the 10.
Locked in. Locked in.
Locked in.
Too many offers from other MLR clubs to go somewhere where he wouldn't play. Yeah, I agree. Bill. I agree.
Pita Ane Asu is the first pick for Nick Johnson and the Pingree Panthers. So that is going off the board there. He's got the turnaround, so he's got a back-to-back pick. What are we thinking here, Maddie, for our up choice, or Vandy either, too? What are you thinking?
I mean, what we got?
We got everything. We can really
Back
go
three,
in any
center,
direction.
Back row, second row, 10. Scrum half, screw him. Front
You think
row,
it's back three?
maybe. My thought with the back three is that it's kind of deep.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a deep back three draft that we can probably wait.
Take Reichard Hatting.
I don't promote the use of drugs on this show.
That would be something to see
You
Maddie
know,
No
Rick
love
deal with.
for the Namibia's 9. Yeah, if you saw him play last year for NOLA, you would know why I didn't have love for Namibia's 9. Jeez, that team stunk with him at 9. I mean, Luke Campbell is out of shape too, so neither of them are that great. Ruben de Haas is going to be an improvement. Yeah, I don't know. Here. This is kind of a tough one. This is where things start getting a little bit dicey.
And the second pick for Nick Johnson is Sam Tuifua, which is a great pick.
I would have
very surprised that he dropped this low. But first pick of the 6th round is Sam Tuifua. So we're back on the clock. Vandy, we're back on the clock. What are we thinking here? I'm just catching up on some picks here.
Vandy, any thoughts?
Not really. Like, do you like any of the scrum halves left? Like Andre Warner?
I say we punt that
No.
position. Let's bolster up on the other ones. Yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
I mean, the thought is maybe we go front row. We see Aneasu come off the board. Do we want to get a guy?
I say let's get let's get some point producers. Let's go with a fun back flex or forward flex player that can get us points. Like that. That's what I'm thinking here.
I'd say we go with the center then.
What about Isaac Titamaki? Wherever you say that. Were you guys talking him up?
I am talking him up. I love him up. I took a selfie with him when he was at Vancouver 7.
That's an option.
Dressed as a construction worker.
You were dressed up as a construction worker.
Yeah.
Go Joe Mono.
No, staying away from him.
I don't think I've won anything.
Yeah, I like Tatamaki. I like that play.
Like unless we go to what you're saying, Matty, lock in one of these front row guys like Quatrin.
I think there's a high chance that a lot of guys are taking front rowers in this next round.
Yeah.
There's only been one off the board so far.
Yeah.
If we are okay with getting dropped down, potentially a Vaca, a Roach, a Kotsa, then fine. Hey, I'm okay with that. I can live with it. But if we want to get a Q, potentially a Ben Sugars, potentially a Liam Coltman, a Telfede.
Well, I guess the question is who do we want? If we're going front row here, what's the pick?
I think Q. If it's front row.
I think Q too. I think Q or Sugars.
Q or Sugars.
I'm saying Q, so
All right. Well, then let's do that. Let's bring. We need a friend of the show on the squad. So Andrew
Browse.
Quatrin
Get it.
on the team. Eagles overseas is up. So we got our front row position. We're really just we're diversifying the portfolio. We're getting every.
I think this is a good decision. There's so much depth at center. There's so much
Yeah.
depth at back three. There's also some sneaky plays that I think we can make at back row, and also second row that are going to go unnoticed across the board.
Yeah.
That I think we're going to be able to get. So I like this. I like this. I like the position we're in.
Okay.
Also, just another sneaky play that I forgot to bring up yesterday, Ryan. Declan Moore. He's back with the anthem. Let's look at his stats because he was hurt for, I think, the last half of the season. But Declan Moore, across 5 games in the front row position, 7.3 points, 8.8, 11, 8.1, 17 points for the anthem.
All right. That's pretty good.
Who's that, Matt?
Declan Moore.
All right. Well, pick is in for Eagles overseas. He goes Sean McNulty. So I think you're right, Maddie. I think this is where we start seeing some of these front row players go off the board.
That's not what I was expecting to see.
Stephen Lowen, though, goes Big Joe Tofede.
Yep. See, look what we started, guys. Well, Nick technically started, but look what we started, guys.
It's true. It's true. So front row off the board, McNulty off the board.
I really like that Joe Taufetti pick. I'm really high on what Nola's going to do this year.
Yeah, I think we got that pretty good.
I'm just making sure that you guys are aware. I do think he's going to get a lot more opportunity for that front row position at Nola to score.
All right, so 5.
I don't understand. Do you guys not think Nola's good? Am I alone in thinking Nola has a great lineup?
No, I think Noel's good.
I am scared to make any propositions on what I do and don't think.
But do you think that this is the same roster as in terms of quality as last year?
It's better.
I wasn't hating on Taufetti, Nick. I would never. It's better.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
It is better. A lot better. I don't know what else to say here.
All right. Well, we got Gift on the board. He's going to pivot. He's been tilted twice so far against Eagles overseas. Bill Baker, who has stolen his pick, I believe, twice in both Corey Daniel and Sean McNulty now. This is a nice pick. This is an interesting one. It's our first unconventional one. Jake Turnbull, and I haven't seen his name come up, but Jake Turnbull goes here at the 6th overall, 5th.
I love it.
It's a good pick.
He's a solid. He's one of the best scoring props in terms of fantasy wise, and he's going to play. He's going.
Is he still with Anthem?
He's still with Anthem.
Yeah.
Again, friend of the show. We had him on earlier this season. He's the only front row player in that top 10 front rows that was not a hooker. So a guy that gets hits, a guy that moves around the pitch, a guy that is going to get you points regardless of his involvement within the scrum or the line out. Very good. Very good.
And,
I like that
pick.
Pick.
Captain. He's going to play for sure. I love that pick. Corey, who do you think Cardi is? We talked about this last year. Ryan, did we not talk about this last year?
Yes.
We talked about this last year, how everyone is bashing on Cardi. Oh, this guy stinks. I'm sorry. Like, the Billy Meeks experience was any better? No, it was actually worse. When you look at how they played, it was worse. All Cardi needs to do is distribute the ball to the talent around him. That's all he needs, and he is capable of doing that. Also, not just sitting on Cardi, there is a Reese Botha there. There is a Dorian Jones there. Both of those guys are completely formidable. Corey, I would be very excited about Tim Swiel over Luke Cardi, but you don't need Luke Cardi to be a Tim Swiel. You need Luke Cardi to simply be a distributor, and that's what he does well.
Yeah.
Average, and that's all you need when you got the talent around him.
So I guess we shall see.
Ooh, tough one.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But we do have rugby wrap up on the clock. We'll see what their pick is coming up here.
And Corey,
shortly.
he doesn't need to be great. He doesn't need to be amazing. just needs to distribute. And I will hate to break it to you, but I think he proved you wrong in a lot of games last year. When he was
Cardi?
starting at 10. Luke Cardi.
Well, I think you guys are in agreement here, though. Like, you guys are both, I think, in agreement that Tim Swiel is better than Cardi. You can do better than Cardi, right?
Of course, but he's not going to lose. I won't say that. He is, if he does his job of distributing the ball, you don't need amazing from him.
All right.
But in week 16, 17, 18, when they were on a roll, he got 12.5, 9.4, 17.3 points. Like, come on now.
That's true.
Come on now.
All right, rugby wrap up goes Devald Kotza with the
Interesting.
overall third pick. So again, string of front rowers coming off the board.
Where's he? Seattle now?
Yes,
he
sir.
is on Seattle now, so it'll be interesting to see.
What do you think of that, Matty?
I like it. I think it'll be interesting. I think they have Giannis Venter. I think that's the other hooker there. It'll be interesting to see. I think he will get the same starting time. I don't know if we're going to see the same type of output that we did last year. I think that was an outlier.
Nick, just not to take things around, but Nick is asking us to say seashells by the seashore and seeing which host will win.
I see those are
by the seashore. Hit it, Matty.
Come on. She.
All right. Pick by Rugby Morning here. Damian Hoyland off the board here.
Oh.
I love this pick. He's a guy that I think has been falling on people's draft boards. And I think it's a great pick. Not flashy, but I think a great pick.
This is what I'm telling you about how deep that back three room is.
Yeah.
Like,
Rodney Iona is Great American Rugby's 6.8 pick.
So pick Eddie Fouché with this next one just for the handcuff.
Two for you to break down there, Matt. Rodney Iona to Great American Rugby, and then Damian Hoyland to Rugby Morning.
Damian Hoyland, I like. I think, with a bit. I mean, he didn't play a full season last year, if I remember. Like, he came a little bit. Nope, I lied. He didn't play the first two matches. I think we were pretty confused on where he was. Yeah, thanks, Corey. Thanks for the. Yeah, you're right, Van Buren. But yeah, I mean, look at the stats here. Like, pretty consistent double-digit score.
Yeah.
When you think about a guy, like, I think he'll be a consistent output there, and I think he's only going to get better and be able to contribute a bit more.
I mean, you were stoked for him to be.
Yeah, I mean, they had him at center sometimes, which really I don't think was using the best of his capabilities. I think you need him at 15, and he's going to continue to start at 15 there, which is good. And Rodney Iona, I got concerns. I think Eddie Fouché is better, and I think he's going to start for Seattle. But hey, can't go wrong with Iona.
Right. So we got six rounds in the books here. I guess we'll reassess here. Whose teams are you liking so far here?
Andy?
I mean, I like ours. Selfishly, I think we got a great team, but I don't know. I really like Fitzy's too, honestly.
Which is hard
I can't speak much to the Hoyland pick. Matty seems to like it, but the rest of it, yeah, great.
Yeah, I don't know. I like ours for sure.
I do like ours as well. I
feel really good about ours.
I think Quatrin will be happy to hear that we have faith in him.
Hell yeah.
I think that's a good thing. All right. Draft boards are all locked up here. Waiting for Great American Ruggies. And hey, he listened to you, Matt. Eddie Fouché is going to the Great American Rugby.
Locking it down. Heads.
That's a solid. I like that idea, right? Go with both of them. You have now a fly half. Now fly half is really a toss up. I don't know. I mean, Rugby Morning must know something, because obviously David Coates right now is fly half eligible. So
I think he's punting it.
I mean, is there a chance though at all that
There goes Leo Lafano here?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, that could be a huge deal depending on how that goes. But rugby morning on the clock here. Dwindling down to the final 15 minutes of this draft that we'll do here on this live stream because of the notable people that we now have in our league. Some people have some live shows that they got to do at 9 o'clock. So we'll make sure to get as far as we can here on this show. No, I meant Bill eligible from a fantasy sense, not from a USA Eagles sense. He's eligible from a positional standpoint, fly half and back row. So we'll see how we go there. I think we can get at least all the way up to the end of the 8th round. But yeah, so I mean, hey, why don't we get the people in the comments here? Let's oh, he's gonna do both. He's gonna do both. So do you want to just roll through this entire draft online here? What like we usually do?
I mean, hey,
I don't know if I can roll through the full thing, honestly.
All right, well, we'll
yeah,
see. We'll see.
maybe, yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We gotta get some.
It is a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday. We do normally do this on a Friday.
Vanny and I have been texting since what? 6
Yeah,
a.m.
it's been a day. It's been a day.
Well, Nick Chan goes to Rugby
I
Morning.
like the way I said this yesterday. I like the way he looked in preseason, especially against the draw. I mean, both him and Matthias Jensen, I thought they looked really good for this team. And if they're gonna go that route with those two at center, I think that's a solid combination there. That's I think he's gonna do well.
See, this is the problem with being in a league with Rugby Morning. Nick
that?
was going to be my kind of last kind of couple round pick.
No. He's not falling that far. I got guys for us, Ryan. Don't you worry.
All right. So coming up here, Rugby wrap up. Noah Brown is picked by Rugby wrap up. Noah Brown, the
Chicago
factory player from Chicago, 89.6 fantasy points last year.
Probably come off the bench.
Probably come off. I guess we'll see. And then right up after that, Thomas Kubeli coming off the board here for gift.
Really?
Scrum half eligible right now. And we'll see if he picks up that center eligibility possibly, but that could be. He was your cheat code, Matt.
No, Ryan. That's Inciarte. Kubeli is the 9.
That is right. Never mind. I got right. I'm thinking of Inciarte.
Yes, Inciarte might be a little cheeky in the waivers.
So gift goes Thomas Kubeli, adds the scrum half from Miami.
You know, it's surprising how little he produced last year.
It is surprising.
Kubeli?
I mean, yeah. Like, I think we had a lot of high expectations, but similar to Nick McCarthy, just did absolutely nothing fantasy-wise. Doesn't mean he didn't impact the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't play much in the middle part of the season, but, like, I think he was hurt. But, yeah, it's, like, kind of surprising fantasy-wise. He didn't actually play, like, as many minutes as you'd hope. So it's kind of an interesting little. Yeah, you never know. And I think Miami's going to be better too.
Next pick, Tau Talatasi of the Houston SaberCats goes to Stephen Lowen, picking the homer pick there because he is a Houston SaberCats fan. And now Bill Baker of Eagles Overseas is back up. That's a good pick. I like that. He might have a solid. So Matt, I remember you talking about that.
Good finish.
Yeah, and do you know he like the issue, and I think Corey brought it up earlier. Maybe it was Corey, of like a team that just really couldn't figure out their starting lineup, and at the center position, that was the most evident. Like the number of times they switched between Tassi, I believe in Sam Hill and Lourdes Vanderskiff and I can't remember Damakina. Just kind of hurt Tassi's impact, but when he did play, he was a stud. Like he was a primary ball carrier for that team, especially in the back line because they never passed the ball out to the wing. So it was like he was kind of the guy there. And I think honestly that was a better for him, I think, and Sam Hill to be playing. They were the better center combination than the other way around because Lourdes Vanderskiff could not defend the 13 channel for his life.
All right, next pick is in. Bill Baker of Eagles overseas picks Tavit Lopetti. So another center off the board. He's honestly a guy that also has kind of gone under the radar, obviously moving over to San Diego. And if San Diego plays the way that they played maybe 2 years ago when they made that run to the Shield, and especially if there's signs that Ethan Grayson maybe moves on over to the fly half position that we've talked about, I mean, the door is wide open for Tavit Lopetti to have a stranglehold of that fast, rapid offense on San Diego at the prime center position. And we've seen what he's done before with Seattle.
Yep.
He can do that again with San Diego too on an even faster paced offense. So interesting, good. I think a solid pick there, which means we're on the clock, guys.
I'd say the last thing is that it's hard to see that he would leave a situation where he was clearly unhappy with probably his playing time to go to another situation to where he would have the same result. So yeah, interesting there. Boys, what are you guys thinking? I know what I'm thinking.
So we have our back three locked up, center locked up.
I think we got to go points here.
I think we got to go points, and I'm looking at either a back flex or forward flex position. I would be. I mean, we talked about even Tutamaki at the last pick, and he's still here.
Still here. That means.
I mean, is that where we want to go? He probably will be pretty.
Makes
solid,
sense.
Huh?
My thought.
Maybe we're gonna take him last, yeah.
All right, let's go with that. All right, Isaac Tutamaki off the board for the Fantasy Ruckers. I'd like to see that. So that means back-to-back picks for Nick Johnson. Pretty solid team, boys. Pretty solid team.
I like it. I think we need probably a guy who can score a bit more points in the forward.
Yes. So
now,
we'll see what Nick goes here on the back-to-back. But
got some ideas here.
Okay. So we're looking at forward positions.
I'm going back row.
Or back row. All right. So we got the first pick for Nick. Thomas Inciarte, center. So won't be available for you for a waiver wire pickup, Matthew, unfortunately.
Good luck with it. Godspeed, Nick.
Inciarte goes to Nick of the Pingree Panthers. And we'll see if he gets that. I mean,
Inciarte was actually pretty good at center, honestly, like when he was playing at the center position.
Yeah. It's like, but now you have the addition of Kubeli, right? So does that impact Inciarte anymore? So like what does that
Kubeli,
center room look like now?
You mean Kubia?
Kubia, sorry.
It's true.
So you got Inciarte, Kubia, and then you add in Giuseppe Dutoit and Matthias Orlando.
Toy.
What it's a deep room there. It's a deep room. So interesting there. So we do have now a back-to-back pick for Nick. And he goes Andre Warner. So Andre Warner off the board, another 9 there. I mean,
we still punting it?
That's the question, right? So
keep punting it.
All right. I'm not even going to mention it because I don't want the listeners to even get a whiff of maybe who I hope maybe falls. But what are we thinking here? We want back row. Is that what we're saying, Matthew?
But I was thinking, Vandy, thoughts?
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I mean, I got Brad Wilkin ranked pretty high. I think he's going to be a sleeper here. I just said his name. I shouldn't have said his name because this is a guy that I think is going to continue to fall and tumble in this draft, potentially go undrafted. I mean, I think
it's any thought on Riekert?
I joked about it last round.
Yeah, you did joke about it. I mean, I'd be okay. I contribute a lot of money to Dare. So I would like to refrain from promoting that among the children.
All right. Would you take this Wilkin guy over Ricky?
Any thought of Ethan Fryer or Jed Melvin?
Only guy is Jed Melvin, but again, I almost want to. I would rather Riekert over Jed Melvin.
Okay. So then I guess then the question then comes down to Riekert or Brad Wilkin.
Brad Wilkin.
So
let's take a look. Let's take a look, boys.
Okay.
Let's take a quick look.
At what? Ricky.
I mean,
He
see the thing
didn't have a great year last year, but then you see some of those
got
like,
hurt.
yeah, he did, but you see some of those 22 points, the 16 points, and the 11 points, and you feel kind of good about yourself for a little bit. But then you wonder, has it worn off?
What's worn off, Manny?
What?
the dose
You-
from
you
2
tell me
years
the-
ago,
on
it's
the front
finally
court?
worn off.
I'm pretty
Last
sure
year.
it doesn't work like Captain America's freaking potent juice that he or
It
whatever.
doesn't
is.
okay, no, it's still in his blood, but now it's finally gotten its way out.
How are you?
You
You know what? Let's do it. Vandy, you like him?
Or okay,
You
but
like
hey,
Ricky?
let me play devil's out. Brad Wilkin, just to talk about it. Australia Sevens,
Yes, I'm
athletic,
aware.
athletic back row on San Diego who could be playing quick. Super rugby experience.
Yeah. And how good are you off an Achilles injury?
Well, it depends.
Is that what Riekert had?
Wasn't
Rickard,
it
that's
Achilles?
what Nick said. Achilles injury. Did he re-up himself? Did he re-up? Did he give himself the juice a little bit more?
Oh, for sure.
He had
It would
to,
be-
right?
it
Coming
would-
off an Achilles injury.
All right, so I think Nick's right here, right? You got consistency with
Don't let him make decisions for us. Oh man.
I'm okay with either of those.
Ryan,
picks.
your vote. Ryan, you
No.
got to pick one. Pick one.
Wilkin.
Vandy, pick one.
Wilkin. Brad Wilkin.
Okay.
You know,
Right?
stick with the guy that you're high on. You're high on Brad Wilkin. I'm gonna buy into Brad Wilkin. The content creator in me says it would just be hilarious to see you having to deal with Riekert all season long and having to talk about him all season long. But I'm okay with Brad Wilkin.
What if Wilkin doesn't even start? Well, we know Riekert's going to start.
Is that
what?
okay?
You're
So
right. Go Hadding. Screw it. I changed my mind. You're right.
Hadding, we go. Go Hadding.
all right, Riekert
Yeah,
had it
Ricky.
off the board. Oh man, he was another guy that we've seen him do it before. It is hilarious that he's not.
gonna.
It
There's
is.
no way
talking-
he even starts now, Maddie.
I was talking to a guy who's in the league, and he's going like, there's no way. Like you play against him, and there was no way that he was natural. It was like
Yeah.
obvious.
But
the
what does
people
that
playing
mean though?
against him.
Like, what it was obvious. You feel it.
Strength.
Picks you up and calls you his son. That's what happens.
Just goes super mutant.
Anyways, I should.
I don't know.
stop,
I don't
man,
know.
'cause
I don't know if
I think-
anyone. I don't know if anyone watches
Yeah,
the TV show The Boys. But we're me and my girlfriend have been watching that, and there's a thing called the V, and there's
The V.
the temporary V, and you take a shot of the V, and it makes you a temporary superhero. Maybe that's when Riekert's taken the V. Nick knows what I'm talking about. The Boys, the V. You got to get the V.
I don't think that's what they call it. I think they call that a trombolone sandwich. But yeah, we can use euphemisms if we want.
Okay. All right. Well, Bill Baker
That was
is
a sweet
up.
pick. That was a sweet
Uh,
pick. I'm actually hyped about that one.
Riekert Hadding pick.
Yeah, we also I also think if it comes back around, we go back with Brad Wilkin.
Okay. All right.
But I've said his name now, and now I'm scared somebody's gonna pick him.
All right. Well, Connor Mooneyham comes off the board next.
Dude, I was looking at him in the rosters, and I realized that maybe we forgot about him. In the couple times he started for Seattle, though, I will say that he didn't have great outings, and his position got very swiftly taken by Inafuti.
Yeah. But Inafuti is electric, though, right? Like,
Yeah, but still, Connor Mooneyham was also had his electric moments.
That's
But
true.
I'm excited to see him. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity with this Anthem side, and I'm
I
excited to see
agree.
that.
I agree. All right. So on the board now is Stephen Lowen.
So it looks like we got like 3 minutes, so we maybe finish up after this 8th round and move
Yeah.
to the long one.
Let's get to this end of this 8th round, and then we'll wrap it up.
So maybe while the picks are coming in, Vandy, Rye, thoughts so far? Thoughts on our team? Thoughts on other team? Thoughts on how this is
I
went?
think it's been a good draft. There's been a couple surprises, but nothing. I don't know, nothing too crazy, I'd say.
Well, Jed Holloway goes off the board first. I'm going to get to your point here, Maddie, in just a sec. But yeah, no, I like the way that this draft has gone. I think that's a steal. Jed Holloway,
That is a steal that low.
That is a steal. Looking at the draft board, I like the way that ours had fell. I think the way that first round went was very interesting. The fact that, Fawcett obviously getting taken first overall. Again, Gift is up on the clock now. And then it kills me that Rugby Morning, John Fitzpatrick, ended up with Kunatani, which is a really, really nice pick. Hindsight, like Wayne Vanderbank, looking at all the drafts that have been happening in our leagues, like Vanderbank has been going high. And
is this a real pick?
I think it's a real pick. Coming in here, our first defense set piece off the board, Old Glory DC. Interesting.
Hey, Old Glory DC, I believe, might be out for the season. Should we give him a chance to re-up on that one?
Why are they out for the season?
Gonna be non-existent this year.
I don't know. They relied on the set piece. And then again, I think Faanana Schultz going in the first split, Hodgson going over Putros. I'm very happy that we landed with Rousseau in the 7th pick, and then getting Goff on
Rousseau and Goff. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm really glad to see Cliven Lobster go as high as he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm glad Kunatani didn't go first, because now Kunatani will not get the first pick curse. But yeah, I'm surprised on how collectively people are just like not caring about the 9 position.
Yeah. Well,
and the front row position. It's been like a collective what's the word?
Mindset.
Yeah, but like, what's it mean when you just throw away that position? You say, "Oh, we'll just
punt it."
Yes, punt. There's been a collective punt of those 2 positions.
All right. Well,
the best scrum half last year got you 115 points.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, another pick is in. Albert O'Shaughnessy goes to Rugby Wrap Up. And I guess this one will be the interesting one, because now we have a guy that has quickly tumbled down at least our rankings. Christian Leolifano is finally off the board here.
There we go.
And goes to.
I knew he was going to do it.
Goes to Rugby Morning. Yeah, he had to be taking. The chance there. It's like, what do you think? Like, does it turn? He could be so.
I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to start first week. I think the real impact is where Billy Meeks fits into this. Yeah, I think Leolifano is going to start. It's just a matter of how much does he start, how much does he play, and where does Billy Meeks fit into that.
All right. Well, we got 2 more picks coming in here. We have Benjamin Bonasso, which is actually a solid pick. Yeah. They're going to Great American Rugby.
Josiah Mora.
And
that. I'm gonna tell Josiah that he's been drafted by old Great American Rugby by old Lance.
There you go. A Canadian. This is for a Great American Rugby team. He's got a lot of Canadians on his team.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
Do you think? We want to extend this to 9:00 and let's try to get this last round in? I know Vandy, you said you got to tie things up at 9. You think we gotta?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, let's finish up this 9th round, and we'll go from there. So let's wrap this up as quickly as we can. Rugby Morning, you are up.
Already got him in.
He's already got him in. He does have him in. All right, so Tavita Nikali is going to is going to Rugby Morning.
See you, Lance.
Tavita and Cali of DC. Got a lot of DC boys on that squad. So Tavita and Cali.
I think
Second
Nakali's
player.
like a cheeky guy, but I always saw him as a streamer guy. I never saw him as a consistent guy to have in the lineup, but like he had his games for sure.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree.
He had his games for sure. And you look at that squad. I mean, it's hard to look at that second row and think he's not going to get his opportunities there.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I guess what? Rugby wrap ups up.
Yep.
Hey, Andy, you remember JBL from WWE?
Yeah, the cowboy guy.
Cowboy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know he's like on within that rugby wrap up team.
Really?
Pretty sure. Pretty crazy. I was telling Ryan that in the video games, I used to beat him up with John Cena all the time.
Oh yeah, he was the rival, man.
Yeah.
Carlo Denison is going up next to.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good pick.
That's a good one.
That's a very good pick.
In wrestling, I mean, not really.
But see, this is now we're like the definition of punting. We are punting.
No, Ryan. There's still a guy there.
People are taking their second nines. We have not even taken.
Don't worry, buddy. There's a guy there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and it's Joel Mono. He's gonna have a comeback year.
He's not even playing scrum half.
No, I didn't say we're drafting a scrum.
No. I'm saying that we're punting the position, and people have already taken their second nines.
Yeah. Well, what do you think the definition of punting is?
That's
right?
true. Hey. Our dead weight has some words.
I didn't agree. Well, okay, I kind of agree to it.
So, all right. We got Gift up next.
All right.
You know what's crazy? I'm just looking at the remaining back threes.
Yeah.
We got Villamoni Karoy. We got Rory Van Voot.
Axel Muller.
Xavier Mignot. Jordan Trainer. Vanny, guy you like.
Yeah.
Drew Wild.
Axel Muller.
We got Axel Muller. Thomas Aoaki still there.
Tony Pulu.
Tony Pulu's back?
Yeah.
What a weapon. Tony Pulu's still there. Julian Dominguez is still there.
Mitch Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, those are the guys that I got my draft board. Tommy Milanos, I think, is still there.
Rory Van Voot.
I already said him. But yeah, just look at that back three. Like, that is ridiculous.
Ina Foodie.
Yeah, okay, now you're just naming players.
Ina Foodie, what's wrong with that pick? He scored 3 tries. You can't
put Jade Styling, to Tony Pulu, and Ina Foodie like all in the same. Like, only 2 of those guys can produce. Pick 2.
Well, we have Devon, and then we just, when we throw the other guy in when he starts.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, see, Vandy gets it. Vandy. I don't know. Is Fitzy or Bill still here? Kind of before you wrap things up. Thoughts on Jack Reeves? Where's he going to fit in? What's the plan there?
And for the people who don't know, who is Jack Reeves?
Jack Reeves, he came from Gloucester. Used to play for New England Free Jacks. Left overseas, went to play for Gloucester. Played on the wing primarily for there. Now he's back with the New England Free Jacks in a crowded center room. But I know that he has a lot of experience on the wing in a pretty weak back three room for the New England Free Jacks.
I will say, and a thank you to everyone listening that has been hanging out with us. We've had a consistent amount of viewers throughout this draft, which is something great to see, and I appreciate all of that. But we do have another pick in as it comes in. Luke White is off the board, back row for Chicago. Finished off as a back row 18 last year, 89.9 fantasy points. Luke White going to Gift a Bulu of Gift time.
I think he's got to play on the wing. Can't see him at fullback.
Who?
Are you still on the Jack Reeves thing?
I'm still on the Jack Reeves thing. I'm just thinking, like, why is he? What's happening here? Nobody's looked at Leroux Milan. Jack Reeves, Is he a guy? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking out
You're
loud.
thinking out
I'm
loud.
thinking out loud as
All
we
right.
close out this draft.
Stephen Lowen is on the board here. We got 2 more picks till our pick. Oh, there we go. This is a nice pick. Ben Sugars to Stephen Lowen.
Like that one.
It's a good pick.
Ben Strang so we can't handcuff him.
What?
I said let's draft Ben Strang so we can't handcuff him.
Honestly. Compound V is what I got corrected. Nick, I'm sorry. It's compound V is the thing that Riekert shoots up his bum.
Told you that's a straw Malone sandwich. Mitch
Compound
Wilson.
V. Thank you, Leah, for telling me it's compound V. That is right. We'll watch more episodes.
You think he's taking Mitch Wilson?
No, we're not taking Mitch Wilson, but Bill Baker, Eagles Overseas did.
There's no way that he's handcuffing thing because he already has Big Joe. So we got Eagles Overseas. Mitch Wilson off the board. So it's our pick.
I like that one.
That is
only
nice
15
pick.
there. I like that.
So we said we were going to take him. He is still here.
Take him. Take him.
Do we take
Joe
Brad?
Mono?
No, Brad Wilkin.
We're not picking Joe Mono, Vandy. I don't want him.
Is there any other options? Do we
Then
even?
who? Then Joe Mono? You want to go?
Boys, I'm on the Wilkin train.
We'll go Wilkin.
So what are options here? What are options as we make our last pick on this show?
We half butt punting on the 9 position and we fall for it and pick a 9, even though there's plenty left.
There is plenty left.
And we got another pick 2 picks away. No point in doing that.
Steven in the comments is saying, let Vandy have his pick.
Get out of here, Steven. Or we go with another back row. I think like rack up on point getters here.
You want to get a back 3?
And I also think, so here's my thought.
What about
Back
Jordan
threes-
Trainer?
Back
What about
threes
Jordan
deep, second row.
There's
There's tons of guys that haven't even been picked. Vandy, I don't want to hit it. There's so many back threes left.
All right, get Brad Wilkin. That's who we're getting. We already know we're getting him. Just pick the damn Brad Wilkin.
I feel bad now. I want Vandy to have his Utah guy.
No,
Fine, give him his Utah.
no,
guy.
I don't want it. I don't want it. We can get him later.
No, he
we
might
get
get taken in the next 2.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Go Brad Wilkin.
All right.
I won't
Matt,
let
you
him
call
buy
this
it.
one's on you, Matt. Brad Wilkin. Is that the
Let's do it.
all right. Brad Wilkin on the board. Nick, our analytics guru, close us out here for the rest of the show. Brad Wilkin is the Fantasy Ruckers' last pick on this live stream in the
And then,
round.
Ryan, where will we continue this and how will we continue this and how will people
Yeah.
how can people continue to stay updated?
We will be continuing this as all of our other leagues have been doing as a slow draft on our Discord channel. We will have the final teams posted on our socials when this is complete. It should be completed over the course of the next couple of days, if not by tomorrow. And yeah, it should be lots of fun. I don't even know if he's in our database, Nick. Nick wants a Nick.
Because he hasn't been announced yet.
I've heard things. Should we let him have
Can
his
we
pick?
just get a quick Fitzy
Fitzy.
confirm or not confirm whether Nick Grigg is going to be on Old Glory DC this year or any team? If he confirms, then we'll let this pick go through.
Okay. We will see.
Unless
just
Nick decides to change.
We need an answer. He should be announced soon.
He should be announced soon.
All right.
So, Nick, do with what you will with that information. Whether you trust Fitzy, that's a whole other question.
Just let us know. If you confirm this pick, this will be the last one.
And just know that Fitzy is looped in. Him and the Old Glory DC and the DC community, rugby community are like
He
this.
trusts Fitzy. All right. Last pick on this live stream, Nick Grigg. in the final pick of the 9th round. We got 10th
Oh.
round, 11th round, 12th round, 13th round, 14th, and 15th left to go. We'll continue that on our slow draft and keep everyone posted on our socials. Pretty solid
shit.
job here, guys. I like our team. I think we're going to win a championship, and
I think we need a Joe Mono.
I think we're going to have our name etched on this jersey in just a matter of time, which will be nice. Donate $100 as well to charity. Yeah, Vanny, we'll
Trying to
get
hit
you.
Joe Mono on the jersey too.
You know what? It's been a blast.
It has been a blast. All right. Well, thank you for everyone for tuning in. Really do appreciate all the support. Again, follow us at the Fantasy Ruckers. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We appreciate everything that people have been doing to help keep this alive and help our mission of making fantasy rugby a reality in the MLR. Awesome for everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Lance Kavanaugh for chatting with us and making that first pick overall and setting the tone for the hype that was the 2025 Fantasy MLR Draft. And thank you to all of our other community members, Rugby Morning, John Fitzpatrick, Rugby Wrap Up, Matt McCarthy, Gift Time, Gift Abulu, Saber Cato, Stephen Lowen, Eagles Overseas' Bill Baker, of course, Pingree Panthers' Nick Johnson, the Analytics Guru, and myself, and Vandy, and Maddie for the Fantasy Ruckers. Do we have anything else that we would like to say to the people before we log off here, boys?
Good luck with the rest of the draft.
Godspeed. This is the best you'll feel about your team.
It is true. You did mention that on the show. All right. Well, we will continue this offline. Thank you again for everyone who tuned in. For Matt Yee, for Devin Vandy Vanderpool, I am Ryan Yee. And hey, make sure to tune in next week to our first in-season episode of the Fantasy Ruckers Show. We'll talk about waiver wire pickups. We'll talk about starts of the week and all that good stuff. That'll be coming up next week on episode 141. Until then,
Heater this year.
we'll see you on another episode of the Fantasy Ruckers Show.
Peace.
You've been listening to the Fantasy Ruckers Show, bringing fantasy rugby to the masses, covering everything rugby from the MLR and beyond. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review, and be sure to tell all your friends. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, connect with us on social media at the Fantasy Ruckers. Till next time, this is the Fantasy Ruckers Show, signing off.